Hey guys, we're gonna get started in just a couple of minutes. Hey Valentina. Okay, I think we can just get started. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good day. Welcome to our session of Live with Smartphone. This is your weekly space to ask questions, share wins, and discover workflows that help your business grow. I'm Cesar, and I'll be your host today. And joining me are Vladi from Sales, Valentina, our affiliate manager, and Sebi and Robert from our support team. If you're joining us in Zoom, you can drop the questions in the chat or simply raise your hand if you'd like to speak with us directly. And of course, we're going to record this meeting and share it on our socials. And we will also post the link to the feature sessions on our channels. Every week, we go live for 30 minutes to connect with you. So this is your time to ask questions about a product or its functionality, see how others are using smartphone in their workflow, and share feedback that helps shape where we go next. And our format is simple. We're going to kick off with a quick highlight, and then we'll open the floor to your questions. Before we jump into the questions, I want to take a couple of minutes to highlight something a lot of teams overlook, but absolutely rely on once they start using it, and that is our reporting feature. Reporting gives you real visibility into how your calls, texts, voicemails, and dialer activity are performing across your users, teams, and numbers. And you can track things like call volume, answer rates, missed calls, talk time, call outcomes, and quickly spot what's working and what needs attention. It's designed to help you make smarter decisions, staff better, and catch issues before they become problems. And with that in mind, I'll hand it over to Vladi to walk you through it. Vladi.
Thank you so much, Cesar. Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and walk you through the main functionality of our report section and how to use it in the best way possible. So I believe the screen should be visible, right?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Beautiful. All right, so reports will be on the left side here. It's basically the place where you can analyze and observe the performance of your phone numbers, team members, as well as the inbound activity. So on the first page that pops up, which is the overview, the format is very straightforward. So in the upper right side, you're going to have the time frames. So this is where you can change either to a daily, monthly, weekly, or whatever time frame you prefer to analyze. Right next to it, we're going to have the export button. And then next to the export button, we're going to have the schedule reports functionality, let's say. This allows you to schedule the reporting section to send you PDF files based on your performance at specific on specific days of the week at an email address. And so the overview section allows you to see a general perspective on the account, let's say. So you're going to have the total average call duration, as well as the total talk time throughout the whole organization, the inbound texts and the outbound texts, and then the answer rates for both smartphone and smrtDialer. If you have both products active, you can definitely change the configuration to either one of them. And then below we have a couple of heat maps, both of them showing you, let's say, the busiest times or the best times to reach outbound. So the inbound calls heat map shows you when statistically do most calls come in, and as more calls come in, the color intensifies, so you can identify when more people tend to call into your company. And for the outbound answered calls, this shows you the best outbound times, statistically speaking, again, to reach out to your contacts. So again, the color intensifies as more phone calls are answered. Secondly, we have the team and the number section. So both of those are going to be responsible for showing you metrics either on phone numbers, on caller IDs, or on your team members. They have pretty much the same format. So I'm going to start with the team and then we'll go to the numbers. So on the team section, you can choose all users, teams of users, or specific users. And then on the right side, you're going to have this list of metrics that you can choose from. Since we have two products, so smartphone and smrtDialer, we're going to have the total outbound calls, then split between the dialer and smartphone. Talk time, same thing, as well as outbound answer rate, average call duration, and answered calls. Below, we have the answered calls longer than 2, 3, 5, and 10 minutes, then inbound and outbound texts and voicemails, then inbound metrics for how many calls came in, how many were answered, the answer rate, and the missed calls, and miscellaneous for outbound calls not connected and smrtDialer session count. The system allows you to choose up to 5 metrics on this section, which is the timeline that shows you in a chart. And then we have a graph below that splits between the users, the entire activity. This is summed up. So this is split between the users and shows you, again, up to 5 metrics that you can choose from. And what I always recommend when it comes to reporting is setting up views. So to simplify things and minimize the friction, you can set up specific views of up to 5 metrics that you can choose from when you come under the report. So you don't always have to go through the list and pick up the metrics you want to analyze. I'm going to show you that in a second, but before I do that, I want to show you that below we also have the smartphone statuses or dispositions, as well as the smrtDialer one. So smrtDialer is only for outbound, therefore it doesn't have this toggle for inbound and outbound. It only shows you the metrics, sorry, the statuses or dispositions that were selected. And then for smartphone, we have the ones for inbound and then the ones for outbound. And from here, you can also choose specific ones if you're only looking to identify the answered calls or not answered ones, for example. And once you choose either the inbound or the outbound or the smrtDialer statuses, the display will show you the activity of all of your users or agents. Now above, as mentioned, the views are very powerful because they allow you to minimize the friction. So as you can see, I have 3 views configured, the outbound one, the inbound one, and text and voicemails. So if I choose the outbound one, my system will automatically populate the metrics that I have previously selected, which are talk time, answer rate, average call, just for outbound, how many calls I did, and how many were picked up. And same thing below, again, split between our users, at the top, summed up for the whole organization. And then the statuses are exactly the same. So to generate views, you need to select 5 metrics, and then you're going to have here a button that allows you to create a new view. So this would be it, save view. If I choose 5 metrics from here, I will then be able to save it as a view, give it a name, select a time frame, and decide whether I want to do it just for me privately or a public one for the whole team or company. Then the inbound. This is selected for mostly inbound metrics. So how many calls came in, how many were picked up, answer rate, average call, and how many were missed. Then for text and voicemails, I selected inbound and outbound texts and inbound and outbound voicemails, essentially these ones. And whenever I want to analyze any of those sets of metrics, so my team's activity for outbound, I just select that view. My team's activity for inbound, same thing. And for text and voicemails, I also have this view. So the main things that I want to analyze and look at on a weekly basis, let's say, are simplified in 3 buttons that I can simply choose and the data pops up right away. Same thing will be available under the numbers section. So this is where I also have, apparently I did not set up views here, but this is where you can also set up the views for inbound and outbound. This time they show you the activity of the numbers instead of the users. So each number can be utilized by multiple agents throughout the week, which means that when you analyze a phone number or a caller ID, the activity of all of your users will be summed up on that number. And then when it comes to the team side, to the previous page, they can use multiple caller IDs. So this time the system piles up and sums up the activity of that user throughout all the caller IDs that they use on a weekly basis. On the phone number section, though, we do not have the call statuses or dispositions. Instead of them, we have the heat maps again. So this is a really good functionality for marketing channels. For example, if you have a website number or a Google Ads number or a direct mail one, let's say, when you choose that number here at the top, you'll be able to identify using the heat map when do most calls tend to be, when do most calls tend to come in on those numbers, on the marketing ones. And if you have, for example, cold calling numbers, you can also look at the performance that they have for outbound calls and when do most people tend to answer. And this allows you to, let's say, be more proactive in handling the inbound calls at certain timeframes, or to call or to be more, let's say, insistent on calling outbound at specific hours of the day and days of the week. The last page that we have here will be campaign. This is specific for smrtDialers. So this allows you to choose from your campaigns, which are lists that you can build either through Excel uploads or through the CRM that you use. And if I'm going to choose one, let's say I'm going to choose all the campaigns, so we have plenty of data. But if I'm going to choose just one campaign, I will then be able to identify how many calls were done, the talk time, the answer rate, average call duration, and the answered calls. Session count refers to how many times an agent or your agents opened up that campaign to make some calls, which is not necessarily that relevant when it comes to specific performance. But when it comes to these ones, they assist you in understanding how many calls were answered, how much time your agents spent on those calls, and how many calls were not picked up. And below, you can also choose the dispositions that you use. So, for example, I can choose converted to identify how many leads were warmed up or qualified. I can do callback, not interested, and DNC, for example. And when I do that, the system populates the information here, and I can also group it by users in case more agents call on a specific campaign. And then below, you're again going to have an outbound answered calls heat map that once again shows you the best outbound time. And then you can also see the user calls. So how many calls each user did. And you can also sort in an ascendant order or a descendant order. And yeah, again, this is where you can set up views. It's only 6 metrics here, so it's not necessarily that powerful. But when it comes to the number and team performance, I do highly recommend setting up specific sets of metrics that you want to look at as views, as they allow you to navigate things fast, smooth, and to analyze the exact metrics that you're looking for. So this is what I had prepared for you guys. The reporting section, once again, as Cesar mentioned, sometimes it's overlooked, but once you start utilizing it and once you start to get acquainted with it, you're gonna see a lot of value in it. It allows you to observe and act accordingly based on your agent's performance. And we all highly advise everybody that is on smartphone to take advantage of this section. It has been revamped quite some time ago, and it's very powerful right now. So take advantage of it. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that, Vladi. That was really good. Um, and since it looks like it's just us today, we're gonna keep it short and wrap up here. If you're catching the replay, we hope you find today's demo useful. And remember, all of our sessions are recorded and available on our channels. so you can revisit them anytime. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time, and thanks to our team here, Vladi, Valentina, Semi, and Robert for jumping in. I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You too.
See
Stay
you
safe.
Take
Bye.
guys.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.